welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about 2025 book releases. Now these aren't every book that is coming out next year, just the ones that I'm personally excited for and the ones I feel like you guys would be excited for and may not know that it's coming. So I have my list on my phone. So we're going to start with January, and I think I have some until November. So pretty much the entire year except for December of 2025. Obviously there's going to be some books added that are not like out in public that we know that's coming out in 2025, and also these dates may change. Like sometimes they push books back or push them up if they're ready to go out. So these are just the dates that I found on Goodreads. So anyways, we're going to start with January 7th, which is Beg, Borrow, and Steal by Sarah Adams. This is the third book in the Rome, Kentucky series. One of my personal favorite romance series of all time. They're two feuding second grade teachers. So we see Emily is one of the sisters that we've seen in the previous two books. And then Jackson, he's new to town, so we haven't met him yet. But I'm really excited for this one because Sarah Adams, she just can't write a bad book. And especially this series, I have not found anything that has compared to it, so I'm excited to finally be back into that world. So next is Once Smitten, Twice Shy by Chloe Leese. This is coming out January 14th, and this is also the third book in the Wilmot Sisters series. I have not read any of them yet, so I don't know what they're about, but I own the first two. It says it's a reimagining of Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. And then one that I literally cannot wait for, Onyx Storm. It comes out January 21st, the third book in the Fourth Wing Empyrean series. This one I seriously cannot wait for because the way that Iron Flame ended, if you've read that, you know, like, we have to know what happens next. And I feel like she's going to rip our hearts out and shred them up, and then we have to wait till the fourth book comes out, which will be probably even worse than this wait. And then the last book I have in January is Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. This is coming out January 28th. And I have not read a book by her, but she wrote Out on a Limb, what's another one? Next of Kin, Next to You, that series. It looks like they're high school sweethearts. And based on the cover, it looks like it's like an outdoorsy type of book. I don't know, that's why I don't try to explain it. Now in February we have three books. The first one is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This comes out February 4th. This is a sports romance. It looks like they're like swimmers or divers. Yeah, competitive diver and an ace swimmer. It's a college sports romance, which that'll be interesting because I absolutely love Ali Hazelwood. She is one of my favorite authors, so I'm excited to finally get that one. I have it pre-ordered on Amazon because they have the sprayed edges on there and they're really cool. And then we have two books coming out on February 11th. We have Scythe and Sparrow by Brynn Weaver, and then First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. So both of those I have not read a book by those authors. Scythe and Sparrow is the third book in like that Leather and Lark. It's Butcher and Blackbird, Leather and Lark, and then Scythe and Sparrow. And I know it's a really well-loved series, so eventually I'm going to get to it. I just have not had the time to yet. And then First Time Caller, I'm not sure what it's about. I believe one of my monthly book subscriptions on Afterlight, like that book subscription, First Time Caller is one of, it might be February or March's book. I think it's February's book. But I'm pretty sure she gets like set up. A young girl calls into the radio station asking for dating advice for her mom. Little does she know it's her daughter. So I've read Lovelight Farms by B.K. Borison, and I did enjoy it. I think I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't, like, I enjoyed reading it and had a fun time. So I'm excited to give her another shot. And then going into March, we have Wild Side, which is the third book in the Rose Hill series by Elsie Silver. This comes out March 4th, and I cannot wait for this one. I'm honestly not sure who the main characters are in this one. I still have yet to read Wild Eyes, I think is the second one. Looks like it's Marriage of Convenience, Hate to Love, Single Dad. The whole series is Single Dad. I think we've met Reese in Wild Love. I think he was like part of the bowling team, but I could be completely wrong. So then also on March 4th, we have Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. And I started and kind of got a little over halfway of Ready or Not by her, and it just wasn't my kind of book. I don't typically like accidental pregnancy books, and yeah, so I didn't want to finish it, kind of put it to the side. I might go back to it. I didn't DNF it, and I might never read it. I needed a break from it, and I just haven't gone back. But I did really enjoy her writing, so I do want to give this one a chance too. It's like Grumpy Sunshine, slow burn. There is some grieving the loss of a best friend in here. It says, how do you find yourself after you lose the one you love the most? So I'm sure he's probably gonna help her with like her dealing with the loss of her best friend. Then Fan Service by Rosie Dannon. This comes out March 11th. I think this is also March's Afterlight book, I think, based off the clues. I'm pretty sure this is one of them. What other books has she written? Do Your Worst. I think I own that, and I haven't read it yet. She's also, I feel like I've seen this book before, The Roommate. This looks familiar, but this one, so it's a paranormal rom-com. It's kind of like a fan fiction too. I don't think I'm gonna buy this one because it's gonna be in one of like monthly subscriptions I get, so I'm not gonna buy that one, but it definitely sounds really interesting, and I love paranormal romances. And then Story of My Life by Lucy Score comes out March 13th. This is a start of her new series. It's a small town romance. That's pretty much all I know about it. I have read one book by her, and that was By a Thread, and I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 3 or 4 stars, around there. I've been really wanting to read Things We Never Got Over, and I've owned that book for so long, and I've just, again, been putting that one off because there's new books that come out and the older ones get forgotten. And I do really love the cover of this one, and I think it's only at Barnes & Noble. They have the sprayed edges, so it's really pretty. And then the Strawberry Patch Pancake House comes out March 13th. That's by Lori Gilmore. That's the 4th book. Sorry, my battery died, so if the camera like angle changed, I apologize. So the Strawberry Patch Pancake House comes out March 13th. That is the 4th book in the Dream Harbor series. Is that what it's called? I've only read the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, so I don't even know what this one's about, but it looks very springy, summery, so I'm excited to get to that one. I just have to read the other ones first. And then Spring Fling comes out March 18th. This is by Annie England Noblin. This one, honestly, I haven't seen anything about it. I don't even know the author, but the cover was so pretty, and it says for fans of Jill Shalvis and Sarah Adams. And I don't know if I've read a book by Jill Shalvis, but obviously Sarah Adams. It says, rekindle your belief in the magic of first love and the charm of small towns. So it's friends to lovers rom-com. And then Summer in the City comes out March 25th. That's by Alex Astor. She's the author that wrote Lightlark, Nightbane, and then Sky Shade. I think that's the one that just came out. I haven't read any books by her, but I know Lightlark is such a loved series. I think it's young adult fantasy, and I've been really wanting to get to it, but I need to finish the other fantasy series that I'm in first. This is like her new romance that's coming out. And then into the month of April, we have 2 books coming out April 1st. Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, which that one I cannot wait. I'm so excited for. I love Abby Jimenez. She's my favorite author. And then The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. She's the one that wrote the series Magnolia Parks. and I forget what her fantasy series is, but I've only read the first two books in the Magnolia Park series, and I don't know what this one's about, but the cover is really cool. It's very unique and I really do enjoy it, so either way I'm gonna get it. And then we have two books coming out on April 15th. We have Wild and Wrangle by Lila Sage. This is the fourth book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I've only read Done and Dusted, so I need to get on that and read that series because they're just really short, cute cowboy small town romances, so you can't really go wrong with that. And then the second book that's coming out April 15th is Bridesmaid by Chance by Megan Quinn. I think it was Bridesmaid for Hire is the first one, and that's one I read last summer when it came out, and I really enjoyed it. And then the second one came out, Bridesmaid Undercover. I have not yet read that one, but that's the third one coming out. And then April 18th we have Fearless by Lauren Roberts. That's the third book in the Powerless series. It's Powerless, and then the little mini novella, and then Reckless, and then Fearless. I have not read that series either, but I'm gonna still get it because eventually I will read it, and I want it to match like the rest of the hardcovers. And then April 22nd, I'm very excited about this one, Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I will always read a book by Emily Henry. It doesn't matter what it's about. I don't even know what this one's about, but I'm still gonna read it because she's, again, one of my favorite authors too. And then another one I'm really excited for, April's a really good month. Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford. This is the last book in the Windy City series. I have all of them right here. I have read all of them and they're all very good. I definitely recommend them. They're sports romances and they take place in Chicago. There's like a hockey romance, basketball, and then the last two are baseball. And I cannot wait for Rio's book. This is the one I've been waiting for because I just love Rio in all the books, and he deserves his own little love story. And then we have two on April 29th, Cane of Envy by Anna Huang. This is the last book in the Canes of Sin series. I think it's the last one. I could be wrong, but haven't read one of those books yet, so I don't know who it's about. And then the second book on April 29th is Destructively Mine by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the second book in like their new series that they're doing. I have Dishonestly Yours. I have not read any books by them, which I really need to. I want to read the Addicted / Calloway series, but it's so long. But I know it's worth it. And then into the month of May, so we have two on May 6th. We have One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. She, I heard, is like the queen of summer romances. I, again, have not read one by her, so I think I have two of them. So I'm hoping next summer will be the summer that I finally get to read one. And then What Happens in Amsterdam by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This one, I don't know what it's about, but the cover is very, very pretty, and that's what caught my eye. She has a lot of popular books. I just have not read one. She wrote like Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, The X Talk, Weather Girl. There's a lot on here that I've personally seen. Just have not had the chance to get to it. And then we have three books coming out on May 13th. Love Arranged, the third book in the, is it the Lakefront Billionaires series by Lauren Asher. This one, I don't know who the main characters are, but I've read both of the books in that series, and they're pretty good. They're not my favorite. I think if you're gonna pick between Lakefront Billionaires and the Dreamland Billionaires, I would pick Dreamland Billionaires. That one just, it was better to me. So Dream On, Ramona Riley also comes out on that day. That's by Ashley Herring Blake, and I know her books are really well loved. And then this one, bear with me, it's very interesting, but The Wish Switch, that's a tongue twister, by Lynn Painter. Now, she does young adult and adult, but this one takes place in like middle school, so they're probably like 12-ish, and I know she wants to write more books catering to like kids, but you know, I'm still gonna read it because I love Lynn Painter. She's another one of my favorite authors, and her young adult books are just so good, so I feel like I need to read this one just to see what it's about. and maybe I'll just get it on my Kindle so I don't have like a kid book on my shelves. I don't know, but I'll read anything she writes. That's just proof. And then the last books in May, 3 of them on May 20th. The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillard. She's the one that wrote One Dark Window. Haven't read that book yet either, or that series, but this is like her new fantasy series. I don't know if it's going to be a duology like the other one, but the cover is very pretty. I got it on Barnes & Noble. And then the second book coming out on that day is Left of Forever by Tara DeWitt. I've not read a book by her either. These are all just books that, you know, I hopefully will get to, but I don't know what it is about her covers that just kind of drag me in. But Elsie Silver wrote the quote on the front and said pure magic. So, you know, if you love Elsie Silver, you're probably going to read it after that. And then the last book coming out on that day is Ride With Me by Simone Soltani. This is the second book in her Lights Out series. The first one is Across the Line. I think I have it over here. So this one's an F1 sports romance, and then the second one I think is the same. So it's kind of like her F1 sports romance series. Okay, and now into the month of June. So there's 4 books that I have written down for June. The first one is June 10th, Never Been Shipped by Alicia Thompson. I think I'm saying her name right. It looks like there's like music involved, so they're both musicians. I think they have a band reunion. Yeah, it looks like they kind of want to get the band back together, but maybe something happened between those two and that's why they split up. I don't know, that's just my guess. And then 2 on June 17th, Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston, which that one I'm so excited for. Whenever she writes a book, I immediately need to read it because I love Ashley Poston so much. Her writing's so magical and poetic, and I'll love anything she writes, so I'm really excited about that one. And then the second one coming out that day is Gloves Off by Stephanie Archer. That is in this series, the Vancouver Storm series. So it's Behind the Net, The Fake Out, The Wingman, and then the 4th one, Gloves Off. And then Finders Keepers comes out June 24th. She's the one that wrote Mrs. Nash's Ashes and Happy Medium. And this one kind of looks like they go on like a treasure hunt or something. So that is all the books in June. Now into July. So Overruled by Lena Ferguson comes out July 1st. They are 2 divorce lawyers. It looks like they kind of have to hide their relationship. I read The Fake Mate by her and I enjoyed it. It was just a fun read. So I feel like this one will be really good too. And then I have 2 for July 3rd. Rose and Chains by Julie Soto. This is her new fantasy series. I read Not Another Love Song and Forget Me Not, and I really enjoyed those. So I feel like it'll be really interesting to see her write a fantasy because I really enjoyed her romances. And then Made for Each Other is by Lynn Painter. This is her new adult romance. And again, like I've said before, I'll read anything that Lynn Painter writes, so excited for that. And then July 8th, The Undercutting of Rosie and Adam. That's the 3rd book. I forget what the series is called, but it's The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, The Undermining of Twyla and Frank, and then this is the 3rd one. And I started The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, and then I kind of just wasn't in a fantasy mood and put it to the side, but I was really enjoying it. And then Wrath of the Dragons comes out July 29th, and that's by Olivia Rose Darling. This is the second book in the Fear the Flames series, so it's a fantasy. I read Fear the Flames. I did not finish it because, again, with The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, I just wasn't in a fantasy mood, and so I put it to the side, but I was really enjoying it. I could see it being an amazing series. And then I have the last book in July is The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Bridget Knightley. This one there's no date, but it just says July of 2025. And the cover I saw on Instagram and instantly I knew I had to read it because the cover just looked so good. It says the best love stories begin with hate at first sight. And I think it's a slow burn enemies to lovers romantasy. So it involves a scholarly healer and a gentleman assassin. It sounds like a really good fantasy, and I think it's going to be a series. And then moving into August, we have 2 books on August 5th. We have Well Actually by Maisie Eddings. This one, I don't know what it's about, but the cover looks really cute. And then the second book on August 5th is Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I don't think I'm saying her name right, but that's the third book in the Assistant to the Villain series. I read the first one. I still have to read the second one, but I think I'm gonna wait till like next year so I can read the second one and then read this one right after. That's what I'll have for August. Now into September, I have 3 books. The first one is The Gingerbread Bakery by Lori Gilmore. That comes out September 16th. This is the 5th book in the Dream Harbor series, and this one looks perfect for like holiday Christmas time. And then on September 25th we have Uncharmed by Lucy Jane Wood. This is a witchy cozy fantasy, and I have the first book in that series, Rewitched, and I haven't read it because I recently just unboxed it and now I'm not really in like the witchy mood. But I'm excited for that one because the covers that she has are always really pretty. And then the last book in September is a holiday novella. It's called Holly by Adeline Grace, and that comes out September 30th. This is a novella in like the Belladonna series, and I just love when authors do like little novellas for the holiday season, like spectacular. And then we have 4 for October. The first one is Love at First Fright by Nadia El Fassi. She's the one that wrote Best Hex Ever, which I have the Afterlight book. I think it was October's theme. But this is another witchy, cozy, paranormal romance, and that comes out October 2nd. And then The Defender comes out October 9th by Anna Huang. This is the second book. I don't know what the series is called, but the first one was The Striker that recently came out, and I really want to start that series because even though it's very long, it's a long romance. I've enjoyed Anna Huang's books. I read the entire Twisted series, so I need to read the Chains of Sin and then go into this series too. And then there's 2 that don't have a specific date, but it says October 2025. The first one is Good Spirits by BK Borison. This is part of her new like Ghosted series. I forget how many she said is going to be in that series, but it's a magical small town romance, and it says he's the ghost of Christmas past, but she's not exactly Scrooge. And I really love the magical element to romances like Ashley Poston, so I'm really excited for this entire series. And then the second one is People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young, and I don't know what that one's about, but I know a lot of people really love her books. And then the last book I have is The Last Wish of Bristol Keats, and that's by Mary E. Pearson. That comes out November 13th. And I have The Courting of Bristol Keats. That's the first one in the series. And these 2 are going to be a duology, so it's kind of like her Dance of Thieves, Vow of Thieves series. But I eventually want to read that series as well because I did enjoy Dance of Thieves and that series. But that is all of my new releases. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. And if I forgot any that you're excited about, please comment them down below because I'm always looking for new books to buy, and I'm sure other people are too. But I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!